Hi, Hike and Jim here. Welcome to another episode of Adventures in Stoving. What you see here is an ever-new 1,300 milliliter titanium pot. On top of the pot I've got what's called a flat cat hat. This comes from Flat Cat Gear. It's carbon felt, and it just serves as an insulator. I'm just showing you the system. This is the Bobcat system that I've got here from Flat Cat Gear. And it's got a lot of really good features to it. It's an alcohol stove system, and it's designed to work with the ever-new titanium 1,300 milliliter pot, which is this right here. Inside, if you look, I've got the base plate, the windscreen. Inside the windscreen, I've got a fire steel and a spoon. And I could also put a small bottle of alcohol. I've got my alcohol bottle over here actually, but you could put it inside. Here's the It's a Snap windscreen, which has snaps on it, and you unsnap it and then snap it into place like that. The nice thing about the It's a Snap windscreen is that it serves as both pot support, at least partially, and also as your windscreen. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put the base plate down. Just gives it a little bit better heat reflection. Put the windscreen on top of that. Now, what we've got that comes with the Bobcat system generally, there's a number of stoves you could use with it, but the one that is probably the signature stove of the Flat Cat Gear company is Flat Cat Stove, and it is a really low-profile stove. It's an interesting design. It's not a common design. Some designs, like the penny stove and open cup stove, there's just 100 variations on them. This is the only one I've seen that looks like this. Nice thing about it, I don't know if you can see my thumb, but I mean it's about only as wide as my thumb. The nice thing about having a low-profile stove is that it doesn't need you to have as high of a windscreen. And so if you have a little bit shorter windscreen, it's easier to fit that windscreen in your pot. That's one thing that's handy. The other thing that's handy about this particular stove is that it's really easy to light. It's an open cup, basically, although obviously those vanes, or whatever you want to call them, that come down from the top, those vanes decrease the amount of surface area of alcohol and the airflow so that you have a controlled burn, and it's not just an open cup in the typical sense as if there were none of those vanes. Anyway, the nice thing that's really easy about this, it's really easy to light with a fire steel. Well, it took me a couple of strikes there, but I'm leaning over the top of my camera and doing that kind of from my left-hand side. But anyway, some stoves that are taller stoves, it's really hard to drop those sparks into the chimney of the stove, so to speak. This one, most of the time I can get it on 1 or 2 strikes, which if you've used a fire steel, I mean, I guess if you use a fire steel all the time, maybe you get it on first shot, but I'm usually at 1 or 2 strikes. It took me 4 today, but it really is easy, and if I didn't have the camera, I'm sitting behind the camera looking at the picture through the monitor of the camera, and I had to lean kind of over the camera without knocking the camera over to light it. So if I can do that and light it with a fire steel, it's pretty easy to light. Anyway, so basically what you do then is to put the windscreen in place. There is a pin, the Flat Cat pin, I think is what John Fong, who's the proprietor of Flat Cat Stoves, Flat Cat Gear, he recommends that you use a pin in the back end of the pot to support things, but if you crimp the windscreen a little bit, I found that you can just put the pot right straight on it. So however you want to do it, whether you want to use the pin when your windscreen is brand new, or if you want to use the pot when it's not, then or just use the windscreen alone when the windscreen has been bent a little bit. Either way, it works pretty darn well. It's a very efficient system. All the heat gets channeled up into the pot and keeps the wind away from it, so you don't blow your heat out. And it's just a really nice system. So anyway, that's the Bobcat system from Flat Cat Gear. I'm Hike and Jim, and thanks for joining me for another adventure in stoving.